Namaste, Namaskaram, Pranam, Adab, Johar, good morning. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Justice Sudarshan Reddy, Professor Venkat Rao, what an eloquent speaker, Professor Dr. R.K. Jain, Lieutenant Colonel Bali, Dr. Srinivas, Dr. Anuradha, respected Director Professor Sabraj Khan, an eminent educationist. Somebody said administrator, but I know him as an activist also. We remember toiling in the interiors of Bihar, interior village of Bihar, trying to rescue children, girls and boys, and give them a lease of life. That's how I have seen as Professor Safaraj. Now he is an eminent person as a director here. Dear young friends entering into the fraternity of law students, law users, law practitioners, law implementers, and lawmakers constituting this mini India. Dear parents and well-wishers, wonderful parents, really appreciate it. Welcome to this distinguished world of legal studies. You have taken the right step. Hearty congratulations and best wishes. Greetings are also due in full measure to the teaching fraternity. I had an opportunity of interacting with a few of them, vibrant ones, and the entire support staff for having such a dynamic, vibrant youth for you to mold. Greetings to Symbiosis University and institution par excellence, with its erudition, expertise, professionalism, well established and proven in so many fields of knowledge. It seems to me that there is no discipline which is not in the ken of this university. Parents, please be assured your heart is in the right direction. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Rao left to the word humaneness. Let me take a few minutes to delve into the mind of these young students who have joined the law course on that particular aspect. You have chosen a stream which is indeed owner's pride and neighbor's envy. Let me elucidate why I say so. I'll try to present a little comprehensive picture. First, let me go into the morphology and anatomy of law. The hammer on the proverbial judge's table, maybe in the film, remains as of silence. This is the image that strikes one's mind when thinking of law and justice. However, law is not just silence, but it also means voice. It is a voice of the voiceless. Law gives face to faceless. It is a language that speaks for the downtrodden, the subjugated, the exploited, the harmed, the victim, and so on. Law governs, but it also facilitates the right to the governed. Law is discipline, but also protects the interests of those who have been forced to discipline. Law means compliance, but law also means non-compliance against the misuse and abuse of law. Law is force against normlessness, anomie. Law emerges from mores, norms, and customs, but also changes these customs when they are inconsistent with or incongruent with civility. Law is static when it advocates compliance of covenants, conventions, rules, principles, and process. But law is also dynamic when it changes the rot in the system, when it removes the decay, when it changes the norms with the times. Law ushers in a new regime when the system becomes moribund or reactive or retrogressive, even if the earlier regime was not so. Thus, law changes with times, and law changes the times. Law is common sense, but law is also philosophy. It's mundane and yet sublime. It's a thread that can and does bind all disciplines. It is a connecting cord and an umbilical cord for the past with the present and future. Law has stepped in when there is anarchy and atrocity, when enacted by the legislature or pronounced by the Supreme Court or born out of the time-tested precedents and practices, whatever be the source. Law has been the savior of life, or living and non-living, fauna and flora, human beings and environment, and so on. There is no field where law has not stepped in, be it ensuring punishment to the guilty or reining in on the air polluters or redressal of grievances of the helpless victims of crime or setting right the mistakes by the executive, including the police. Law is there to set things right. When the issue of sexual harassment in the workplace came to be noticed as a crucial area which needs intervention, but having no specific law to address the issue, the Supreme Court judgment in Vishaka matter came to be the law. When the Nirbhaya case shook the nation, having realized the need for a comprehensive and stringent legislation, the Parliament brought in POCSO. Even amendment to the laws have been done in response to the need of the hour. IPC has seen more than 75 amendments so far. The Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, which is a contribution of the democratic India enacted in 1956, unlike the pre-independence IPS of 1860, has seen an amendment in 1978, a major overhaul in 1986, and another amendment is on the cards now. These changes have been in response to the changing needs of the hour and the changing socio-political environment. The cultural ecosystem of 1956 demanded suppression, but later became prevention. Law is always evolved and is evolving. The public interest litigations by the public-spirited persons or agencies or even suo motu by the courts have indeed transformed the process of justice delivery, making tremendous impact. Laws stepping in through the High Courts or the Supreme Court at all times and in places where serious flaws in governance were noticed, and redeeming the situation has indeed made a great contribution to public service. It has been proved beyond doubt that judiciary that upholds law, justice and accountability of all, though is one of the pillars of democracy, is the forerunner and de facto and de jure the first among the equals. Well, law is not limited to the social milieu. The corporate and business houses need laws. Nations and international bodies need legal practitioners. Judges who decide on constitutional matters or international arbitration needs lawyers to tell them what the law says. Having said this, let us turn a while to the issues and challenges that we come across in the process of law implementation. The pathology emerges when the law enforcement, the justice delivery process is affected or is inexistent or is malicious or is distorted or is delayed. Some of the major challenges in the given context are rule of law versus rule by law. When the requirement is rule of law, at times we see that there is a distortion in understanding and implementation, making the law a mechanism to unleash tyranny and excessive authority. Text of law versus spirit of law. The essence of law lies in its spirit. That is what jurisprudence says and what justice delivery demands. However, many a times this has been sidetracked by the enforcers, giving priority to the text. In one case, the court ordered repatriation of illegal immigrants to a neighboring country. The list included trafficked children too. If they are pushed back along with the illegal adults, they would be re-trafficked, recycled and exploited further. If they are handed over to a responsible agency like the border guarding forces or NGO working across the borders, still the law can be complied with. The spirit of law can be invoked, but without violation of law per se. I tried, and this really worked. However, this has not been institutionalized, and therefore many persons, especially young women and children who are pushed back, are still being re-trafficked. The text takes over the spirit, as you often see. Another question that would agitate our minds is if law is favoring the rich and the powerful. Are their grievances heard and addressed while millions of poor suffer in silence? Well, we can debate on both sides. Is the law for the masses or the minions that control and dominate over the masses? Does the law apply equally to those who command in power, maybe by illegal means, and to those without power? When the pickpocketers are being arrested and sent to jail and made to languish in prison for years as under trial, are the corrupt who loot the treasury and funds meant for nation's development also equally dealt with? Is there a gap between law and law enforcement? Is the gap at times a great void? If so, has the law failed at the hands of these persons who are supposed to enforce the law? We see many number of pictures in the video or YouTube, how policemen beats up people, etc. Are they supposed to do that? They are not. They are not. If there is a gap between law and justice delivery, are accused getting preferential treatments over victims? Are the victims made to suffer in silence and law refuses at least at times to render any help? Is not the usual delay in the courts hampering justice to those who are accused rightly or wrongly and are causing undue harm to those who come up as witnesses in the courts of law only to hear the case stands adjourned? Is the victim and witness given protection, or are they really neglected? Are the victims made to relive the trauma time and again? Is there anybody who truly listening to her, the victim? Are they only heard or listened to? Is it court hearing or court listening? In the entire proceedings and hearings before the law enforcement and justice delivery process, who is there to listen to the victim? Well, how can the pathology be addressed? As Professor Rao said, as Honorable Justice said, you are the spirit, you are the messenger, you are the messenger. Do we need a physician or a surgeon? No. Is the problem cancerous that surgery is called for? No. The fact is that if there are 100 issues, we have 1,000 solutions. 100 issues, we have 1,000 solutions. And the solutions are within us and with us. Within us and with us. Let's ponder a few for 2 minutes. The insensitivity and distortion in the justice delivery and law enforcement processes can, to a greater extent, be redeemed by joint training of all stakeholders. We have done that. I would have trained not less than 50,000 police officers, NGOs, judiciary across the country. Have you ever seen a major paradigm shift? Along with the help of law teachers and law professors and law practitioners. Empowerment of the community can be a better way of doing, involving young law students. I have an example of Kathmandu School of Law. I keep going there for classes. Kathmandu School of Law, they came to the villages on Nepal-India border and adopted the village. 5-6 students go there and stay in the village for 5 days or 7 days and tell everybody as to what is human trafficking, what is sexual exploitation, what is labor exploitation, what is violation, and educate them, empower them, and they made a tremendous impact. Entire villages where the students of Kathmandu School of Law went in Nepal, entire village, stretches and stretches of the village, they have prevented human trafficking. Magnificent work the young children have done. Using law to break the silence of the downtrodden, the oppressed and subjugated, the exploited, and those who are likely to be exploited, as well as a weaker section of society. We need to break the resilience. We need to usher in zero tolerance, and we can do, you can do. I'm sure you will. To take a specific example, let us decide to prevent human trafficking. Since I've been working this field for 40 years, prevent human trafficking. Thousands of women and children are under subjugation today, right here, right across this area. So can we do something about this? I see may be aware, as any citizen should know, even the parents should know, human trafficking has been prohibited under Article 23 of the Constitution. Article 23 says trafficking is prohibited. So we, the people of India, have given to ourselves a constitution. All of us are responsible. The rickshaw puller, the shopkeeper, the bus conductor, everybody is responsible under the constitution. So we are duty bound to ensure that our children, our neighbors' children, our village children are not trafficked, are not violated. That's our constitutional duty and constitutional mandate. No human beings for sale. Isn't it? Yes. Therefore, you can start. I usher upon this, call these students here to start an anti-human trafficking club in the college. I have started one in the Ernakulam Law College in 2017, 2014. Honorable Chief Justice came and launched that, inaugurated that. It's a magnificent work the youth are doing in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Chennai, Andhra Pradesh, and many places. You can also start one. And your professors, your registrar, your VC also committed, will be extend all the help. My service will be freely available to handhold you and mentor you. It's not walk the talk, but walk the talk. It's a work the talk. Let's work together and ensure our children are not for sale, our women are not for sale. Let's take this mission forward. Law is fundamental to individual excellence. Professor Rao also said, a legally sound person is a better human being in all respects. Just to take you for a minute, let me tell you how I got my LLB degree. When I had finished 23 years in service in IPS, I was working in CBI. I had to investigate a crime of international arms smuggling in Purulia in West Bengal. 300 AK rifles that dropped. Consignment came from Bulgaria. Aircraft purchased in Latvia, and air dropping done in Pakistan and dropped in West Bengal. I found as an investigator, I had to study not less than 20 new different legislations which I never learned and which I never read before. It was an enriching experience, but not a comforting one. The reason for the discomfort was that I had not learnt law in a professional academy like this, and therefore I was not able to understand the nuance of the law. Ladies and gentlemen, reading is different from understanding. Then comes assimilation. Then comes interpretation. All these are possible when you are in a law college where the law teacher is a mentor, guide, friend, philosopher, and so on. You are in the safe hands with Dr. Sarfaraj and his wonderful team. All the best to you. I decided to join evening law college in Delhi, and I had to work in the office in the CBI a whole day. It was a fascinating experience in learning law from the college. Very enriching, exciting, stimulating. Well, my young friends, you are lucky to have joined this college, Symbiosis. Indeed, you will be a fascinating journey. Wish each one of you all the very best. Only suggestion to you is to continue the passion for knowledge, skills and excellence. Skills and excellence. Skills and excellence. Not just learning knowledge. I have observed my experience how a judge in a court listened to both the parties, was not satisfied, therefore summoned the victim to speak in person and was convinced thereafter. A case convicted by the High Court, a trial court for hanging. A case convicted by the High Court for hanging. The trial court, Supreme Court judge thought, called the victim, heard the persons and acquitted the case honorably. It's a wonderful judgment. I really find that sort of spirit in the judge. How that person could have a third eye and the case was completely acquitted. Well, on the other hand, I also saw another judge listening to advocate of one party with rapt attention but dismisses the other after routine hearing, whereas I had full belief that the latter had much evidence with him. It's not blaming one person or other, it's actually what counts: the skill to observe, the skill to understand, the skill to listen. So as lawyers, as students, that sharpen your skills, listening skills, observation skills, documentation skills, all those skills are very important. It makes a difference as to how you project your view, how you present the matter, how you convince the judge, all those. It's a great sphere of negotiating skills. Do sharpen them, it will be an asset to you. Acquisition of knowledge and skills should never stop. This is indeed lifelong learning. Be prepared for this. Learn from the victim who got justice. Learn from the suspect languishing jail as under trial. Learn from the accused who has been acquitted honorably, having no evidence after scores of years of trial and several years in prison. Who will compensate them? All his youth, all his family life, all the life of his family has been vanquished, demolished at the altar of criminal law enforcement. Let us not fall prey to such violations and exploitations. Let us give equal right to all. If your sister cannot be violated, my sister also cannot be violated. That is human rights. That's human rights. What I give to myself, give to others. What I give to myself, give unto others. That is human rights. Let's practice that. It starts from within us. It starts from each one of us. Let us give to others what we claim to ourselves. Let this college and university flourish with this batch of students whose names we written in glory, all they do in public service and to espouse the spirit of law. Lastly, I was given to understand that a few in the group are eager to move into civil services. Friends, if you choose that option, you can indeed make a great career. I had a great experience of 35 years in IPS. I was telling the Honorable Judge, I had only 35 years. I wish God gave me 35 more years, spending an average 16 to 17 hours a day. It was never tiring. It was haram. It was addiction. 16, 17 hours an entire day. 35 years. It was fascinating work. I tell you, if you are dedicated to public service, it becomes an addiction. If you want to do that, most welcome to try for civil service. It's a fact that one can do public service in all vocations. It is one's choice. As a lawyer, as an advocate, the opportunity to render service to public is limitless. You can become a judge and render eminent service to the public. We have examples out here. We have such legal luminaries in our midst, having done yeoman service. You can be a professor and spread the light of wisdom all around and do yet another distinguished service. It all depends on your inclination and interest. But if you want to try for civil services, I would affirm and confirm that's a golden opportunity to render service to the public. In the IPS, I could wipe the tears of millions of people, young and old, male and female, transgender, disabled and so on. It's a fascinating experience. For example, the mission against human trafficking, which I started in 1982. I rescued 134 children from child labor and sexual slavery. In fact, Kailash Satyarthi came there to witness that thing. After I did that, continued as a mission. And by now, I could rescue a cause to rescue more than 50,000 women and children from trafficking. Ladies and gentlemen, I can narrate hundreds of stories from my real life as how much satisfaction one gets from each instance. Awards and rewards may or may not come, but the best reward is the relief emanating from the heart of the victim. The smile on the face of the survivor, the tears of joy on the face of those who had undergone torture, and relief of the person when a crime that was to happen was nipped in the bud and prevented. Many may not be aware that the police, the honest and delivering police, not all of them, would have prevented at least 90 crimes when 10 crimes happen. We don't sleep. We don't sleep if you are an honest person. If you are committed to a dedicated public service, law gives you a better option to join civil service. Most welcome to join IPS. Well, friends, let me conclude here. Professor Sarfaraj Khan said, difficulties are good. Difficulties are good. Are they good? Yes. But turn them into opportunities. Turn them into opportunities that you can. Difficulties are to be turned into opportunities. Turn stones into milestones. Stones into milestones. That is what you can. Best wishes for a glorious career and life ahead. Best wishes for a great time in this vibrant campus, beautiful campus. Morning I had a darshan on the campus. You have peacocks and birds and all talking to you. Birds talking to you. Trees talking to you. What a wonderful campus. If you have eyes and ears, everything is there for you. Best wishes to the teachers and professors in their mission. Teachers and professors, wonderful teachers. Michelangelo, you know who he is. Michelangelo was once asked, how do you make such beautiful sculptures from ugly looking stones? Ugly looking stones. His answer was, the beautiful structure is already inside the stone. I only help to chisel it out. I only help to chisel it out. Each student here is a genius. The faculty only need to chisel out and refine the genius within them. Best wishes to all. Namaste. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your wise words of encouragement, sir.
I now request Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, Director, Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Hyderabad, to address the gathering.